seasons on the Farming Simulator where you killed the weeds and now they're allowed to come back, so they come back at full force. Okay. I guess I'm going to run around the left side this time. This is not a nice field shape to get this done. There's lots of overlaps. Thinking we got to the bottom right corner. So I think I'm almost, yeah, we're almost done with this side again.
It's 117 more days until it's my birthday. Okay.
Let me just fill in the bit in the middle. It's a nice thing about having a wide sprayer is that it doesn't take too many passes to get things done. The bad thing is there is so much overlap here that I am wasting a ton of liquid.
I need to go get some water. Get those weeds there.
Yeah, I don't know why those didn't die. They may not be. I can't touch them because that field is, or that patch of the field, and I can't see anything here. So yeah, that's the patch I can't touch because there's nothing growing there. And that's fully fertilized, and the last thing that happened on that part of the field was I spread fertilizer. And until there is a change in state, which there can't be because there's nothing on that part of the field, I can't apply herbicide there. I could do a small amount of cultivating on that spot, but really I'll probably end up destroying more crop than's already missing. And the weeds aren't affecting anything because there's no crops for them to affect. So anyway, let's
What time is it? What time is it?
the time is coming up on 12. So this field, I'm fairly certain it's going to be very difficult to see where I've been. So
Look how long it is. It's so long.
which way do I want to head? I kind of want to head
Around crops.
mostly that way. What's that angle? 152. That's a really neat angle to drive at. So I'll unfold that while we're setting up. Setting up this. Auto width. Offset 0. Oh, I know why there was offset when we were planting, because I didn't get the planter lined up straight. All right, let's get this thing rolling at approximately 152 degrees. Let's engage forwards.
It's 4 degrees. It's too cold.
And any moment now. Stop. Screen, that's the right screen. Set B. Enable guidance steering. And that's looking good. So,
You know how I think I this because like my arm was hurting right here,
Yeah.
but now it died down to right here. I think that's good, right?
I don't know.
Is this where like my joint is?
No, the joint's here.
Yeah, because it doesn't
And
hurt.
here.
It doesn't hurt right here. It just hurts like right here
You probably strained something.
from dancing.
Probably.
Next week,
Okay, so this is going to be.
am I going back dancing next week?
I think so.
Like going to the studio?
I think so.
Yes, I am. We have. Yeah,
And
watching
yes,
dancing.
we are killing the weeds. So this is working out okay. I think I'll do the right side. I'll do a right turn. Get that side of the field all dealt with, and then we'll move off to that side.
Too many cough. I think I hear a little cough. This is how it's brushing my teeth. Cough.
And that's the edge of the map. Turn off. Thank you.
Brush into the edge of that like I do, so.
And sweep this along here.
I wish the map was bigger. Where you could go to the field that's right by you where it is.
Okay, I need to turn on the field driving guidance and go. Come on, spray.
Is there fertilizer on that field? Like cow poop?
There's a ton of fertilizer on this field.
And can you eat that stuff
Well, not right now.
when it gets bigger?
I don't think you eat this stuff. I think this is used to make cooking oil.
Because we're eating fertilizer?
No, the
Cooking oil?
fertilizer's in the dirt. The fertilizer was in the dirt before the plant started growing.
Oh.
And then the plants eat the nutrients that the fertilizer provided. And at this point
It's
we'll
cow poop.
turn guidance steering off. No, it was...
Chicken poop?
No, I don't have chickens or cows.
Sheep poop?
Sheep don't poop.
Sheep do poop.
Well, in this game, sheep poop's not usable.
What? Well, what when you use then goat poop?
I don't have goats.
What do you use?
I use...
Human poop?
No, bacteria poop.
Ew.
Yay! Okay. So turn
These
that...
people are probably wondering why we're talking about poop.
Well, you started it.
Well, I was just asking.
Yeah, about poop.
Dude, you're making me embarrassed.
Yeah. It's my job. I'm dad.
It's not your job.
It's what dads do. Especially for teenage daughters. They make them embarrassed.
Are there any dads on this when they're watching it right now?
Oh, quite probably, yeah. I think there might be some granddads there as well. But, yes. Dad's job is to embarrass his daughter.
Let's see what they think.
Dance like your dad.
No.
Yeah.
No. God, no one's tying anything. That's good.
But anyway, this will deal with all of our weed woes on these two fields. So yes, we have a little bit over there. I could ignore that section because frankly we've done most of that side of the field. But spraying herbicide is not a thing that appears as stuff you've done, which is sad. So we'll
Who's
just
Captain Zinc?
use a viewer.
I don't know. I think Captain. Is he like a captain of a boat or
No,
something?
I don't think so.
Captain Zinc.
But, so you can just about make out the fertile or the herbicide spread, where it is and where it isn't.
You're from England.
Yeah. Oh,
My last name is
Why?
Britain. My
Oh.
last name's German.
come on, tractor, go.
It's from
That
German.
was a little unexpected. We crashed into the edge again, so poop.
You're not from like me, right?
Well, you can't see the edge. You expect the
know.
edge to be where the stupid hedges are. But no, on this map, the edge is 4 foot from the hedges, and so you can't tell when your booms are going to hit or not. At least with solid fertilizer. The advantage with that is that you're not... yeah, you don't have the booms, so it is much easier to miss the edge and still get fertilizer or whatever all the way to the edge.
I crash into
This one,
I crash into trees too.
this map's, for the most part, it's easier to avoid stuff. But, sometimes I think working field 2, 1, you're right on the edge of the map. Well, 1 has a little laying down the side of it, so you're not working right on the edge of the map.
So will you ever cut that spot right
I
there?
think. Huh?
You ever cut that spot?
No.
So you just make it grow tall and tall and tall and tall and tall.
No, it's just that the trees are in the way, and the trees there's probably more than 50% of the tree is below ground. So clearing it off is just a mess. So not worth doing. So we just leave that there. And the same on the lower fields. Plus it's real life stuff. The government would probably get upset if we chopped the trees down.
Gretchen Whitmer?
No. Gretchen Whitmer's not in England. Okay, so...
I'm talking about the real world, not the fake game.
Well, if this was the real world and we were in England, we can't chop those trees down.
I live in America.
Yeah. But this map's in England, so we would have to obey England laws, and England laws are like, you've got to leave the hedges alone, you've got to leave the trees alone, and you've got to set aside some of your land for natural habitat, so the birds and the critters have somewhere to live.
Big bears. You guys have bears in England?
No. The field mice and the moles and the foxes.
I like foxes. I don't think I've ever seen a real fox over.
And what have you. So you have to make sure that they have somewhere to live in
Deers.
between with all your farming, and
Don't get deers.
as a lot of the farmers say, it's a bunch of people who don't farm and don't know how to actually care for the land, telling farmers who care for the land as their profession how to do their job.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
And to go off on one of my bugbears, that's why you have so many forest fires in California, not because people who know how to tend the land are doing anything, but because environmentalists are saying, oh, you've got to leave all the dead brush alone so that when there's a spark from whatever reason, half your county burns down.
I'm gonna go on the computer here. Oh, meetings after lunch.
So anyway, as soon as we've done this, I'm probably calling it for the day. We've been going 3 hours now, and it's close to the end. So next job, you know what I haven't checked is the fun one. That's the wrong one. Yeah, that new field of ours. Where is it? Oh, this one over here. Oh, look! It has weeds on it. We've just finished planting it, so of course weeds. However, I do want to get that one fertilised at least one layer before it starts growing. I think putting herbicide down before the crop grows, it's kind of part of the whole tending the land type of thing. With the crop, once the crop starts growing and he's bigger than the weeds, it starves the weeds for nutrients and sunlight. But in the case of like this field, our weeds are bigger than our crop, so the weeds are getting the sunlight and getting the nutrients, and we kind of want them dead. But now that they're dead, any new weeds that grow just can't get seriously established, so the crop wins at that point. Okay, where did we get up to? Right about here. So spraying herbicide on ground where the crop's not growing, what that's going to get you is the weeds dead, but then they're going to start growing again, and because the crop's still, you know, in its fledgling state and just starting to grow, it's fighting weeds on an equal footing. And what we really want at that point is the crop, you know, on this field the crop is leaps and bounds ahead of the weeds, so it's not a fair fight for the weeds. The weeds might be hardier, but the crop's bigger and there's more of it at that point. But to do fertilizer down, I could take the big spreader before the crop starts growing. But we do have, where is it? Yeah, there is no fertilizer on this ground, so we're going to have to work hard to get that done this year. We're going to be using a lot of GPS driving to get it done, or workers, either or. There's a couple of bits there. I think that's probably due to either lack of rain or more rain. I don't think we've got problems with growth and coldness on this, because this is quite a hardy crop. Now, I mean, technically now that the ground temps are below 7, I could plant some, what is it, plant the sunflower seeds, because they will not germinate until the temps come up to 7. The risk I have at 7 is the crop will germinate and then the ground temps get too cold and it kills the seeds. But right now it's too cold for the seeds to get started. Maybe we'll do that on the next game day. Second early spring. We'll plant the sunflowers. See how that works out for us. So I discovered that playing law folds. I planted all my crops in mid-spring when when this told me I could. You know, so you plant your crop here, and that's a good time. And for the Scottish geo, you can't plant early spring, so you start here. And I planted all my crops on day 3, and none of them started growing until day 6 because, oh, damn it, the temperatures were too low, and I hadn't been paying attention to what the ground temperature was. Wasted some herbicide there. I'm thinking this is our biggest field that's currently planted. So hopefully that field back there, the sugar beets will start growing. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. And we can run up there, put herbicide on, and then the next field we fertilise is the new one. And I can take a quick trip over to the store to refill these tanks, and I won't have to do a special shopping trip and bring it all back to the farm. Okay, I can see that. Start off by running up the edge here and engage the guidance steering as we approach the centre line mark. Bleep. And there we go. Of course, this is giving us very efficient coverage. I may not even bother to do the next row over because that's more wastage than it is killing weeds. I don't see any weeds on that section either. So we're just going to run up here and call it good. Yeah, that little patch there. Even if weeds grow, it's so insignificant. Okay, turn this off. Finish off this edge. I mean, we've lost more crop in the patches that look bad than we're going to lose yield in that little patch there if we're unlucky enough to get any weeds grow there. Okay, we're down to 80% of the front tank, so the back tank's empty. That is 100%, well, 98.5% coverage of herbicide on that field. We are done. Yeah. It's 20 after 9 in the morning. Our sheeps are doing sheep-like things. Our grass isn't growing yet. So, I'm hoping we'll come back up this lane tomorrow to spray the sugar beets. I want to check to see what state their fertilizer's at. I'm going to stick this by the house. Since we have no herbicide in the end shed, we don't use this shed. We can put that there under shelter. That's fine. Okay, so field states. So that one there still needs to be fertilized. Did I not? I might not have put any digestate down on that field, and just relied on the fertilizer in the grain. in the cedar. These two really need to be dealt with. These two are kind of okay right now. And we're going to have, yeah, those still need to be seeded. Sunflowers, so they'll give us another stage of fertilizer on those two. Need fertilizer on those two as well. And lots of fertilizer on that one. But anyway, so that's our plans for the next couple of days. As usual, I want to get as much work done as early as possible so we're not rushed later in the year. Sheep, we have 285, so that's 82 sheep increase this year so far, and I'm expecting us to be about halfway done. There are, hard to tell because I'm scrolling through this quite quickly, but that's a lot of expectant sheep. So yeah, we're kind of looking good for 150 increase this year, which should make for 250 next year. It depends how many male sheep we have that we end up selling. So, dog, you ate your food. Have some more. Where'd the dog go? He's hiding in that building. He's found a hole. He crawls inside. Nope. Well, I assume there's a hole because the dog just goes missing. Okay then, well,
Maybe he's in your house.
Here we are, Oakfield Farm. We are done for this stream. We will be back next week on Saturday, which will be, what, the 5th of December, so we're into December's. But for now, everybody have a good weekend, and I'm out of here.